welcome back to Never Watch Alone, where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. I am your host, Tim Lifeit, and joining me, as always, is my good buddy, Sean Willer. How you doing, Sean?
I am doing well, and I am ready for this. Let's get them diamond hands out, boys.
Yeah, man. How you? I hope you had a really good Christmas, and we are now here for one of the all-time great Christmas movies, kind of like in some areas. But honestly, it's still like a timeless comedy to me.
Look,
Trading Places.
Yeah, and look, it's a traditional viewing in Italy of all places. It's played every Christmas Eve on one of the TV channels and gets 10% of the viewership, and that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I get it. It's their A Christmas Story. You know, like every year, every fucking year, when you go home for the holidays, A Christmas Story is playing 24 hours a day on TBS. Because I imagine, you know, it's like all the guys at the studio, like just put it on a loop, and then we're just all gonna go home for the holidays, which totally makes sense. But yeah, that's another weird one we might have to cover in the future, because I think Honest Trailers was like, yeah, is this movie good, or is it just comforting that because we know every line? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but come on, we're doing questionable Christmas movies. That is very much a Christmas movie.
It's in the damn title.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, Trading Places. Yeah, it's this one is definitely one of those that are like, yeah, it's kind of a Christmas classic to some, but it's usually not on the top of everyone's list, which I can kind of understand. And of course, naturally, folks, if you want to just like get to the fucking commentary already, just hit the sync button below as always, so you can talk over that. But anyway. Sean, where did you first see this? Did you see this on TV or anything?
Oh, yes. So,
okay.
I'm of that certain age where I grew up with Old School Comedy Central. And Old School Comedy Central would play movies like this all the time. So, I kind of grew up watching, like, the Eddie Murphy classics. You know, This, Coming to America, the Beverly Hills Cop movies, 48 Hours. So, I really like his early career stuff. And that's also what's interesting, is because also about this time is when he started to have his kind of later career transition doing more like family movies. But because I kind of grew up watching these on TV, I never really cared for those. Like Dr. Dolittle or Nutty Professor, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like those.
The 90s is a weird time for Eddie Murphy, wasn't it?
Yeah, so like I was never really all on board with like that kind of resurgence time. But this heyday, you know, in his stand-up at the time and his appearances on Saturday Night Live.
I'm Gumby, damn it!
Yeah. So just really kind of enjoyed this heyday of his work. And obviously, as somebody, you know, growing up, you can't be a kid growing up in the 80s without loving Ghostbusters. Like, it's just kind of there. Yeah. So you have, and along with that, I also really enjoyed movies like, you know, the Blues Brothers, and so I mean, I like Dan Aykroyd, and then come on, the man who directed Animal House. You have my attention.
Yeah, although it was actually quite something that he was able to make this right in the midst of the Twilight Zone accident, which was... Yeah. I imagine he was like, I better make this movie fucking good, because my ass is hanging by a thread right now.
I mean, yeah, it says something that he ever had a career again after that.
No kidding. Especially the fact that... he went to go back and do another really great classic with Eddie Murphy, Coming to America, which, of course, we both know has a real... There's a bit of a linked continuity, kind of?
Oh, no, not kind of. It's very much. I mean, you have a cameo by Mortimer and... of course I'm going to brain fart out his name right now.
The Duke brothers.
Yes.
The Dukes.
The Duke brothers. And it's Randolph. Mortimer and Randolph. I always remember Mortimer because I'm a big Don Amici fan. Like I love me some Don Amici, so it's like Mortimer, haha.
Yeah, now as far as me, I actually did not see this on television. I actually watched it for the very first time, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Actually.
Oh wow.
I know. Well, it fastly became like a really like funny favorite of mine, especially the ending. You know, for it's in this weird time of billionaire space races, while there's like massive poverty and horrible social inequality. I'm not gonna lie. There are many mornings where I'll wake up with my breakfast sandwich and orange juice, and I will just watch the trade floor sequence where the Dukes lose all their money. The schadenfreude is so real in that scene. So I love coming back to this. It's a lot of fun. I've watched it maybe like 5 or 6 times in the couple of years that I've seen it. And yeah, it's I would totally and you know, to answer the question that we've been asking all month, is it Christmas? For me, the gift of turning a poor man into a rich man and a rich man into a poor guy is truly the greatest gift of all. So I would say yes, this is Christmas Day. Well, you know, actually, you know, I'll give it this. Like, it is. I'll take it as a Christmas movie, but for at least for me, it's more of a New Year's movie. Just because of that great line at the end where, you know, they finally get all their money and, you know, the Dukes are just broke, and they just look at him and go, "Happy New Year!" So I always saw this as like, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. Happy New Year movie. It's not one I would probably watch every year on New Year's, but I would definitely list it as like a great New Year's movie, because, you know, there's 1.5 million Christmas movies out there. There's maybe a small handful of, but there's only like maybe a small handful of like Thanksgiving or New Year's movies. So I would probably, just to give, you know, New Year's a little bit more representation, probably lob it there. But yeah, that's just me. What about you?
You know, I never really associated this with the holidays because it was just kind of on so ubiquitously. I just watched it kind of whenever.
Yeah.
I have no problem with people wanting to watch this as a holiday film. I certainly enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And
honestly, I feel like that's our message the whole month. Look, this may not be Christmas to us per se, but if it is to you, then more power to you. Seriously.
Well, again, I agree with that. Although I will always stand by what I said about Die Hard. If that is your Christmas movie and your only Christmas movie, who hurt you?
Right? Like, come on, man. You don't want to fucking watch, you know, Will Ferrell jump up and down, or Chevy Chase, like, you know, fall off a roof, or you know, Jimmy Stewart find meaning in life, or just there's so many things you could be doing with
right. And it's like, if you want to, and honestly, It's a Wonderful Life's always kind of my pitch. It's like, look, it's a great Christmas movie that's not that much of a Christmas movie. It's just this awesome story taking place in winter that we've all decided to watch at Christmas.
Yeah, and because, you know, there was no copyright back then, or they forgot to renew a copyright, so they just like decided to put it on TV because it's like, hey, this is public domain and it's kind of Christmassy, throw it on. And it happened to be a really well-made movie.
Yep.
And a lot of people liked it, and they're like, well, shit, now it's a Christmas classic because they were able to air it.
Yep, but
this is why the Mickey Mouse law is a bad thing, you guys.
Yeah, but you know, but see, at the same time, there you have it. Like, right there, this movie was aired all the time when I was growing up on TV, and it's a great movie. So of course, I love this movie.
Yeah. Should we get started on it?
We should.
Because it's a fun one. And granted, looking back, I know that there's a lot of things that are problematic with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, really, like, culturally problematic.
Yeah.
It's like, you watch it now and you're like, ugh. But overall, the stuff in here is so strong, I think a lot of it's merit to forgiveness.
Yeah.
I think, anyway. I think. So, but yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, listening at home, that's just how I think before we jump right in. So, but that's I guess we can talk about that when we get there. How about it?
Let's
so,
go.
folks, if you got a copy of the movie, either a Blu-ray or a DVD, or it's on streaming on Hulu, and it's also on Stars right now and Amazon. So if you can just find yourself a copy, because we are getting ready to roll in 3, 2, 1, click. And there, I think it's coming. Yeah, there's the Paramount logo.
Mozart.
Mozart. It seems like Mozart or no. I'm thinking nope. No, see, I was wrong there. I was about to say Mozart seems to have like a weird connection with Christmas movie classics this month, but no, that was Beethoven for Die Hard. Beethoven. Don't give to the Salvation Army, guys.
Do not.
please don't. They're so anti-gay.
Yeah. So something I thought was interesting that I learned in doing some research for this is, so there's this whole series of classic comedy movies starring Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, and when and this was supposed to be one. Like when they started writing this, that's what it was supposed to be. But you know,
honestly, for like for film geeks like us, like when you say it like that, and you know this movie, and you think just swap out Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, you can totally see them doing this.
But when Murphy was brought on, he did not want to work opposite Gene Wilder because he didn't want people just to think he was copying Richard Pryor. Which on the one hand, I can respect. On the other hand, why the hell would you not want to work with Gene Wilder?
Right. But still, it's oh hey, Bo Diddley, I forgot he's
yes, pawn shop broker.
That's right. In Philadelphia, it costs $50.
And of course, Frank Oz. He's
powerful
everywhere.
Oz. Oh hey, it's the Apollo Theater. I actually love this opening montage because you get the sense of the streets that the class, the whole classism theme carries through. I really like that, and man, it's so crazy seeing the old school.
Can I bring something up?
Yeah.
In Coleman, the lawyer, butler, whatever, or not so loyal to the company more, we should say.
Yeah.
But I almost have a feeling of like, is this not more realistically what Alfred would have been like dealing with Bruce?
Probably, honestly.
It's just this damn rich kid. Yeah, all right, whatever.
Honestly, well, he does have that attitude a lot in the comics where he's sewing him, stitching him up after his nightly routine and whatnot. But, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, as a matter of fact, now that you mention it, in like an alternate universe where, Denham Elliott got to play Alfred, he probably would have been a really good Alfred.
Could have, for sure.
Yeah, maybe, although I still really like Pat Hingle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, classic.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, the Rocky statue!
Yep.
Those bastards had to move it to the bottom of the steps. I'm still kind of pissed. Whatever. Like, come on. Philadelphia is, like, just kind of a city, and it's like, can we have just, like, this one... Hey, can we have this, like, at least have this one really great, like, folk hero where it's supposed to be?
Because you just said that, you're now going to be visited by the ghost of Ben Franklin tonight. He's going to smack the shit out of you.
Probably. But in all fairness, like, the reason why I really don't like Philadelphia is driving around it. Because, unfortunately, that city, along with Boston, was built before cars were a thing.
Oh, yes.
So there are a lot of one-way streets. A lot of them haven't been paved over since the 60s, and there's no place to park. And I hate driving through those cities. So if there's any Philadelphians out there listening, I apologize. But, Jesus Christ, can we get those streets paved? And can we please have something more than a one-way street? It fucking hurts to drive. It really does. I want to visit the historical sites. I want to run up the Rocky Steps, damn it. And I really, really like your cheesesteak sandwiches. Holy shit. But I cannot drive there. I can't stand it. Also, I'm poor, so public transportation, probably not the best thing. Is there even public transportation out there? I don't know.
I don't know about Philadelphia. It's all over Boston, though.
Okay. See, I'd find Boston more tolerable in that respect then. But, yeah. We need so much more public transportation.
Yes, we do.
You know, I remember watching this the first time and watching Winthorpe getting his day ready. And just that, hanging his nose highs. I'm much better than you. I am a pristine, it's distinguished, privileged gentleman. And I remember saying out, because my wife was like, we should watch this, because if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. And we did, and I turned to her and I'm like, I already hate Dan Aykroyd in this movie. I already hate, like, the way he just doesn't even make eye contact or anything. I'm like, I already hate him. And she looked at me and he's like, oh, don't worry, he has an arc.
That moment right there, he actually used the actor's real name.
Oh yeah, well, it sounded very. What was it? Fowley?
Yeah, Folly.
Yes. Well, it sounded very. Thank you, Fowley. But yeah, I always thought like, oh my god, I hate this character already. And she's like, oh, don't worry, hon, don't worry. He has an arc. It's cool. Yes. And I'm like, oh, okay.
But see, that's great. I mean, Dan Aykroyd, this most lovable of 80s comedic actors, and you hate him.
Yeah.
Doing a great job, obviously.
Right off the bat, honestly, which is really which is quite a bit for an actor to do within, the span of like maybe 5 minutes. Actually, no, more like 3. But on the flip side, we have the character that has no redemption, and I equally hate as much right off the bat, the Duke brothers. Indeed. But thankfully they get their comeuppance, because I remember I'm like, I hate these guys just as much, and I'm like, oh, don't worry, like they're gonna get theirs. It's cool. Because look at the way that the staging is.
Yes.
And you also gotta love, there's never any eye contact with them. Yep. Ever. And is that really a Rolls Royce? That might be a Rolls.
I think it probably is. Yep.
Either that or it's a Bentley.
Ooh,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. But either way, it's a very fancy car, Sean.
Yeah, I think it's a Rolls, but I could be mistaken.
Well, any car enthusiasts out there, please feel free to
correct us.
Yes, please, for we do not know all. And of course, the businessmen bitching and moaning like, oh, these stupid scientists don't know anything. I don't care what they say. I just want to know how much money we're going to make making our pork bellies. like that. And it's really strange, because it's like, it sounds like they're exaggerating, but they really aren't. Oh, and they also, you got to love how they had an onboard computer and phone system in their car. Like that looks kind of radical for now, but back then that was like top of the line. Oh shit! And now I hate this smug smile on his face. Oh, Mr. Rocketeller, me money bags. An extra 300 Man, bitch, like, my entire joint families combined never even seen half that.
Right.
Like, you fuck off. Fuck right the fuck off.
Well, and I mean, this is 1983 money, so that's like $1 million basically.
Oh, basically. Especially, after the inflation that's been going on for the last month. I mean, Christ.
So, I mean, like, what? He was at work for what, an hour?
Maybe. Ooh, yeah.
They did say the market was closing, but, like, it's weird that, like, you have them here in the morning and...
Hey, there's Eddie Murphy. And this shit right here, man. Yes, he's a crook, and yes, he's not faking blindness and, being a fraudulent veteran.
The look on Don Amici's face is just priceless. It's such a... And by the way, Don Amici had not done a movie in 13 years. He'd been doing television appearances. This started his late career resurgence, and we are all better for it.
I agree. But still, I just love that one line where he's like, I have no money to give you. If I was Eddie Murphy there, I'd be like, look, I'm not even blind, and I ain't even a veteran. But bitch, the fuck you don't. I see that car, and I see that, that $3,000 suit. You totally got money. Like, it's like, and they go in and they read their newspaper like, we're about to make millions of dollars. And it's like, and you can't spare like, $100. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. Fuck right off. Now, it's also this moment here where it's just like, you fucking bastards. $5.
That is... Oh my gosh. Oh.
Wait, his reaction is priceless. Motherfucker!
Right.
Cheap motherfuckers. Jesus. And it really doesn't help the fact that the poor man is like an elderly black guy. Like, this is just like... That's the thing. Like, for all of its, like, semi-problematic... Or it's like... Actually, no, let's be honest. It's got a lot of problematic stuff in here. But damn it, they had, like, they were addressing a lot of those cultural things that have, steeped from a lot of, like, the Jim Crow stuff that is basically... We are still basically fighting today.
Yeah.
It still addresses that. So, again, it's like one of those things. It's like, yes, there are very problematic things in this movie, but the things that it does manage to address as well, it kind of, sort of, but not really balances it out. Or at least it makes it, the really harsh stuff forgivable, anyway.
Yeah.
And plus, like, I don't want to use that excuse, like, to, wave handily, like, this was just the time period it was made, and the times of difference. Yes, it was, but I'm not trying to make the excuse. That's just, if I ever use that, or if I ever say that, it's always out of, like, as an explanation, but not an excuse. Because it should never, ever be an excuse.
Oh my gosh. Like,
Good
the
God.
The snootery of this entire scene is just like...
Right. Right. Although, I still remember, although I think we'll get there when we get there, it's just like, when I think they have their big meeting, it's just like, good God, the rich snootery.
Right, but like, and even here, it's like, the richer are snootier against the less rich.
Oh, yeah. This whole argument, the nature versus nurture argument. Don't you? I think wasn't this movie also like loosely based off a Three Stooges sketch?
There's a Three Stooges sketch that has a bit to do with it, but I mean, come on, Pygmalion has a little bit of this. The Prince
Mark
and the
Twain.
Pauper.
Yeah,
there's a lot of. This is a common theme in history.
Yeah, and I think I remember one critic. I think it was Roger Ebert. I was reading up like, yeah, it was movies like this that probably could have been easily have made in the 1930s and 40s. That the stories of class and comedies of errors and things like that. But naturally, I do like the bit of the hard edge of the 80s that this movie does sport. I don't know why, but the head twirling of that Eddie does here is just kind of hilarious, actually.
But, I mean, he was clearly not old enough for this. This bit had to be a holdover for Pryor.
Oh, yeah. But yet, because you know he's such a fraud, it still works.
Yeah.
And then this bit is just so great. Like, the timing of it. I love how I love how that Eddie Murphy has those instincts of when to be a good actor and when to be a bad actor in this one sequence.
Like, you know, this different time in America, when would a police officer ever let a guy like that just walk away that far?
Probably not, although
they would have been on his ass.
I'm pretty sure if they were just kind of watching him like that, he would have been like, they probably would have been calling this guy for backup. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of surprised they didn't have like an insert of like, you know, him talking on his radio, like 1004 over here. Can we get on 23rd Street? And he just pops out. It's so horrifying, like how true this sequence is. Just like weirdo black guy, rich white dude. Oh, that's a bad. That you're just asking for a confrontation. Although this has got to be the most whimsical of like enticements of a Black Matters protest. That is a lot. Oh boy. It's like, hey man.
If this isn't America.
Yeah.
A room full of powerful white people and cops picking on a one black guy. Whoops.
Worse, a poor black guy. Unfortunately, this is America, Eddie, so yeah, you kind of do. It hurt. Fuck, I hate this. Oh boy, the gears are turning. The gears are turning in Randolph. Oh God. These jokes are so funny, but they're so awful.
Yep.
I get that it's not good. Seriously, like my least favorite word in the entire dictionary is the N-word. But look,
that shot of him staring at the camera.
Yeah, for real. It's like, bro, that shot of him staring at the camera like, bitch, this America. You happy about it? I ain't. But yeah, I get it. Seriously, the N-word is like my least favorite thing in the dictionary because it is a word that is only designed to entice hate and pain and hurt. And it's but for the sake of art, for the sake of this character, this prissy white dude who is clearly a racist.
Okay, hold on.
It's justified, I think.
Jackasses
are
just throwing their grandniece under the bus. They're breaking up her intended marriage for this shit. How awful are these assholes?
It's literally just to get their kicks off. Seriously. And for a wager for their usual amount, and when you find out what it is, it's just like unreal. And unfortunately, seriously, that's what people in power are kind of like. Like the fact that they, can just fuck up a life without any consequences, that's what does it for them. To cause, to stir up controversy, hate, to ruin that is their sex. And I really, really wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. just if you don't believe me, seriously, just look at Bezos after he comes back from his space trip and thanking the Amazon workers for making this happen.
Right.
Like, are you that disconnected? Are you that and yes, they are. Probably even more so because that's the public face. I don't even want to think about the private face. Seriously. So, yeah, and this is where just Mortimer and Randolph were just like the fucking worst. Because one thing that always like stuck out in my mind from the great underrated action swashbuckling. Oh, that's.
I love that moment. He's just like, why would I eat this? Like,
he's like, I'm not paid enough for this shit. But the one line from the underrated swashbuckling epic masterpiece, The Mask of Zorro, it always sticks out on me. I ain't nothing compared to the likes of you, gentlemen. I steal gold, I steal money, but you steal people's lives. So damn y'all to hell, and damn the horse that brung ya! Ah! Fucking three-finger or four-finger jack. Love that. But yeah, for real though, that's my thoughts. Oh yes, it's. You also gotta love that she's so. She's like, oh my God, you staved off an intruder. No, that's so brave. Like, bitch, you didn't do shit. Also, I'm sorry. Like that. I mean, of course, I'm pretty sure, like everyone watching right now, Dan Aykroyd included, that actress is fine looking, but I hate that dress.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to say earlier at dinner, like that dress, she looked like an oversized porcelain sex doll, and it's just like, yeah, no, like, come on, you can. Come on, you could be classier. Although I think the costume design was supposed to be like that. She's supposed to look like a doll, like because there is like this semi element of a trophy wife thing going on here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like that, it's not semi element. It 100% is. Like,
okay, yeah. Well, my point is, I think it's because Dan Aykroyd's character Winthorpe genuinely loves her. But she doesn't really love him back, necessarily. I don't know. Rich people are weird, and I don't understand them. And oh yeah, hey, check it out. It's Giancarlo Esposito. Fucking Gus Fring himself, man.
Oh my gosh. So young. So young.
Right? I think this is like maybe his third or fourth film. I mean, he was basically doing extra work. Now now he's basically like one of television's great villains right now.
And yeah, and I mean this is one of the aspects of Murphy's comedy that I'm like not huge on, but it sets it up well for the character, so it works. But like, this is always that aspect of it's like when he's being a blowhard. I like him more when it's like he's being a rascal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I like these two guys. Where have I seen these two guys before? I feel like they've been in other 80. I feel like I've seen him before in other 80s comedies. They look really, really familiar, and it's going to drive me nuts. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You really gotta love that later on he's actually gonna be able to back all this up.
Right.
Help! I what now?
I did?
Apparently I'm looking it up on IMDb. Oh, hey, check it out. It's a director cameo.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the dude with the fedora and the suitcase.
Yep. One of the many. He makes several cameos in this movie.
Oh, really? I didn't, because I thought that was his only one.
No, there's at least one more. I think I'm pretty sure.
Well, if anything, although now I'm looking at his character and he opens up the briefcase next to those two guys outside of a police station. Is he a lawyer or a drug dealer? I can't tell. I think that was like kind of his way of like being a joke as an extra. What the fuck? He's a human being, man. Hella sus. Hella sus. You know, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like,
see, no, you see honestly, if I were him in that moment, I probably would have ran. But
yeah,
I think he'll be glad that he didn't, because it all kind of works out for him in the end. Now, I do love his attitude toward the cigars here. Just fucking takes a handful. Like, I'd be the same way too, man. Okay, that hurts. And, you know, again, all of the rhetoric that the Duke brothers say and do in this movie, I'm willing to let go because that is their character, and therefore, within the sake of the narrative, it's justified for me. Oh, this bit here.
That's like $200K in today's money. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of money they're offering him.
Yeah. I actually love, like, he's got the street smarts to be like, hold on a second, I need to talk to, like, a real fucking human being, all right? He just leans forward, he's like, hey, man, is this some kind of joke? These two are like, these two want to cornhole me, don't they? Nope. Well, what's my next move? Oh, thank you. And yeah, even he's like, the driver's even invested in this now.
Randy.
Morte, yeah. I feel like that was like 100% improvised.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's Eddie Murphy. He's gonna improvise a lot of his shit.
He's gonna riff.
In fact, the only time he didn't riff in this movie was during the where they're on the floor of the exchange, because he didn't understand that stuff. So it's the one time he's stuck to the script.
Man, I love the look that he gives him, that eye contact with him. Now this is fucking hilarious. Yeah, man, them jacuzzi tubs are nice. I've only been in like one in my life, but hot damn, is it a good time?
They are enjoyable.
Yeah, especially because they are among the few tubs that can fit my wide ass. God damn! God damn! Seriously, like, again, just because we know, just to really emphasize what slime balls they are. Shit, man. he's pickpocketing everything. I love how the butler is completely unfazed. In all fairness, that's just the drop in that in the bucket for those guys. He's like, shut up. That means I'm losing.
I like the painting of Venice behind him.
Yes.
I love that. No.
Fucking Christ. Oh, and there's Beaks, played by pretty much every 80s authority figure ever.
Yep.
Paul Gleason. Well, we saw him earlier. Paul Gleason is our commentary bookend. We had him in Die Hard, and now we've got him in Trading Places.
Yep. One of the things I like about this movie is the fact that I really like the pacing. It doesn't feel rushed. It takes its time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't drag either. It's a very well balanced film when it comes to the pacing.
Yes. Oh my God, that is so uncomfortable. I don't know if it was deliberate, but if you notice, like 90% of the butlers in there are black dudes, elderly black dudes.
Yep.
And everyone else, and this is the scene where I remember seeing them all sit down, and I'm like, that is a lot of white motherfuckers. That is a lot of crusty old white dudes.
So, something that really struck me when watching this movie, I don't know if you've had a suit. I've never had a suit where the pockets on the outside of the coat actually operated as pockets. They're usually just for show.
Yeah.
So, like, that always threw me.
I had the suits that I've had Because I think I have like 4 suits, all hand-me-downs, and like 2 of them fit now. um, but I think about 3 out of the 4 actually have the functioning pockets. So I guess that is a thing. Although Lord knows when I do finally get my own fitted suit one day, yeah, I'm definitely having those pockets functional because I like my functionality. It's like that moment in John Wick. Like, what would you like to have the lining be? Tactical. Yeah, seriously, you look around, there are a lot of fucking crusty white dudes.
Oh,
Not just in the stands, but on those walls, man. Lot of crusty white dudes, man. Jesus. You know, it's too bad that, dudes like Steve O'Bannon or Matt Gaetz can't be outed like this. But unfortunately, if they're outed, then the rest are compromised because they're all just as big as scumbags. Oh, shit.
Oh, this is so just like, what the actual fuck?
Right.
But at the same time, you're like, he's kind of a scumbag, so...
Man, they're all scumbags. The only reason why Dan Aykroyd's character has any arc whatsoever is because he gets thrown out onto the streets and gets himself humbled. Gasp! You also really gotta love how the security officers converge on him before it's revealed. Also, is it weird, or does his shirt look like like there was a red sock that was put into the wash?
Well, I'll tell you what. One thing about this movie that doesn't age well. Yeah. The incomparable. Well, but one thing about this movie that does not age well is the fact that I don't know a single like super snooty rich person who couldn't be thrown out on their ass and still be fine because they have set up enough redundancies and carefulness that like nothing can hurt them.
In all fairness, that's because this was the 80s. So there wasn't as much because like when he goes like, I have $150,000 in that bank, even adjusted for today, that's still only like maybe just shy of a couple mil, which but by today's standards really isn't that much.
Yeah, but
oh boy. The great and powerful Oz himself. I love Frank Oz's like actual bit parts in movies, man. Like anytime he comes on, I'm like, just hey, Fozzie! He's the Foz, man. and I don't know what it is, but I also love his comedic timing and just his like subtle delivery of the most perceptively what is it? The word I'm looking for. The most perceptively irrelevant line. Oh man, so I don't know. He just has like some really good sense of delivery for just the little screen time he has.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite bits was on American Werewolf in London, also by John Landis, was when he plays the secretary of the that visits Jack in the hospital, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Mr. Cullen." Like after he tells his friend just died, it's like, "My friend Jack is dead. Hi, I'm Mr. Collins." Oh shit, he's throwing that money up. Damn. Not gonna lie, man. If you ever if I had a couple $1 million, I'd totally do this.
See, I don't have a haunt enough that there would be a place to go. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fair. But I mean, I'm just talking about throwing money away to places that don't normally get this kind of income.
I mean, maybe, but I'd be more the kind of person to be like, "Oh, I just met this young person. You're kind of cool. Oh, you're in school? Guess who's paying your tuition?"
Yeah, here's a couple $100,000. Maybe put down a payment on the house for later. So I actually looked it up. These dudes really don't like the really big black guy.
Uh-huh.
He's in like a couple of other stuff. Like he's got some bit parts as like in Star Trek and whatnot. But the other dude, like apparently this is his only like really credited movie.
Huh.
So, I don't know, man, but they just feel really familiar in like long forgotten B movies. Oh damn, limousine! I fucking love this. He's like,
I mean, if you had to deal with this, you'd be drinking too.
He's like, I am not dealing with this sober. Oh my god.
Good lord.
Boy,
the
you
hangover
really gotta...
disco fashion.
I know, right? Look at those bad tops. Down, damn it. It's from Persia. He's like, motherfucker. Yeah, this is what happens when you get a whole bunch of delinquents, half-drunk delinquents from a bar to party. You know, if it weren't for the fact that Eddie Murphy was so clearly annoyed by these people, that would have been right there, the moment of his life right there. You know? Because, I don't know, I feel like the dominoes fell a little bit too cleanly into place there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why this is such a big deal in Italy.
Who knows?
Coleman's like having just a little bit too good of a time. Oh, I miss college too, don't you? Don't you, Sean?
No one cares.
It's when you gotta kill the tunes. Beat it. Oh yeah, here's another really cool cameo that's coming up here. For any of you DC fans. Just wait for it. I swear she's coming. There she is, Arlene Sorkin, Harley Quinn. Harley fucking Quinn herself, man. Yeah, get the fuck out. That's real nice. Get the fuck out of here.
It's like, oh, great, I have street cred. I don't need street cred anymore. Get out.
Yeah, get the fuck out. I don't need this. But yeah, man, how cool was that? That was Arlene Sorkin's very first role ever.
That's awesome.
I know, right? Went on to become like one of the greatest characters in the DC continuity. Oh yeah, I got me a job now. It's like, oh my god. I'm sure Coleman is just looking at him and he's like, oh, thank God I don't have to wipe his ass.
Right.
Whew, that is a man who has had a very, very hard day.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because in that moment when I first watched this for the first time, because like I said, when I first watched it, I hated Dan Aykroyd's character right out the gate. But the moment he lifted his head up and you saw the blood in the black eye, it's amazing because that's just a testament to Dan Aykroyd's acting ability. But it was right there where I'm like, I start to feel sympathy for you. I actually feel sympathy. For you, I don't, because you just have that look where it's like, I'm too rich for this.
I do have a level of sympathy for her. I mean, she is a pawn in this, and it is fucking up her life as well. I mean, that's...
Oh, hey, check it out. It's Harvey Weinstein.
Is it actually?
I no, but
no, I'm like, I don't think so.
It might as well be. Look at it. Look at the look in his eye, man. It kind of does look like Harvey, doesn't it?
A little bit.
It's like, ew. Well, yeah, the dude was like stripped of his clothes and kicked the crap out of. Where had I been? See, now, look, for real, if there was actually like legit love between these two, I guarantee you the wife would have, or the fiance would have been on his side. Even when Jamie Lee Curtis comes in and does her thing. Because seriously, if I got mixed up in this sort of thing, I know for a fact, because I even asked the wife when I watched this for the first time, like, yeah, if I got mixed up in something stupid like this, yeah, she'd totally be like, what the hell happened? Like, and gone.
Ooh. So. Oof.
Ooh.
You know what? I'm going to say this. We're referencing this a bit later in the movie, but I entirely agree with his sentiment of get the shotguns.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, if someone did this to me, I am going to be busting some kneecaps. For starters. And then I'm going to be pulling some fingernails.
Right?
And I'll get a pair of pliers for the eyeballs. Cash only.
Her first non-horror role, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because this is like right fresh off of her success with Halloween, wasn't it?
Oh no, she had done Halloween, Halloween 2, The Fall, Prom Night. She had done.
I forgot Halloween 2 already came out by this point. It's 83. I forgot. How shitty is that? Seriously, what? I really want to know. That's the one aspect of this movie that. What does Coleman have to gain or to lose?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess he'd get fired.
I guess
he's employed by the Dukes, not by Winthrop.
That you know what? Maybe that's what it is.
That's entirely what it is. If they could take away the house from him and give it to someone else,
then they could really fuck up his day. So it's just like, I got to play along. Although, I kind of wish that they had just a little extra character moments for Coleman, that he's really regretting what he's doing. Like, I wish that after he, shut Winthrop out, there was a close-up of him, like, closing the door from the inside, and there's a wine glass next to him, and he pours the glass and he drinks it. Like, I kind of wish there were these tiny little moments of that would have really made his character a little bit, a little bit more, like, uncomfortable.
Oof.
I also really love the framing in that, where the security guard takes up half the frame with this guy here, just so that he can. It sets up him being thrown out. Man, it's the pathetic look on his face that sells it, isn't it? As Job said, or as God said to Job, "Fuck if I know." Yeah, isn't there like supposed to be like a huge, like a lot of people have made the analogy that this is kind of a loose inspiration of the Book of Job?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oof.
Get off your knees. I do like this. I do like this little bit here where she literally reads his palm. It's like soft hands, manicure. Nope.
He is pampered as pampered can be.
I promise you won't regret this. Thank Christ, too, right?
This movie was actually nominated for an Oscar for the sound. And
oh, really?
You can tell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, hey, It's the what is it? The Umbrella Academy meme with Nick Cage.
Yes.
This is the precursor to that, isn't it? He's trying to adjust. Motherfucker! I love this. I love the cut, the shot reverse shot on that. Man.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah, love that. Are you in on this?
Oof. I mean,
Boy,
you can tell that.
Yeah, the nervousness behind his eyes.
Yeah, he's as stuck as everyone else. Like, he just does not have a choice.
They sure can take a hell of a lot else away, though.
And you can tell that's a man who knows what they can take away.
Yeah. You can actually kind of see the fear in his eyes there.
Yeah.
Still, but man, now that I think about it, when he closes out Winthorpe, I kind of wish there was a shot of him from the inside of the apartment in a wide shot where he closes the door and immediately takes pours himself a glass of wine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's whew.
Yeah, if I were in this building with a suitcase and a suit like that, I would feel
he's never
so
seen a
out of
place
place
like this in his life, except when he was running through it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm actually I would still be like looking around like, Jesus H fucking Christ, like, what the hell am I doing? You know, I actually had a similar experience that he was having. I was living in a house with 5 other people, and I had my own little 10x10 room with all my stuff in it, and it was basically a closet.
Yeah.
And in that same year, I went on a cruise, and when I walked onto a cruise, because I was on it was through a courtesy of a friend. I walked out onto the oh wait, hang on a second. For real? And the orange juice, I love it. But I walked out onto the top area, and you know we were still parked on the dock and everything, but they had butlers going around serving drinks. There was a food bar. There was music. There was a pool thing. There was a hot tub with a jacuzzi, and I'm looking around and I'm like, damn, man, I am a broke kid from Chicago. This is how rich people spend their weekends. Like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Right.
It was a surreal experience, but I'll tell you what, man, I lived it up while I could.
For sure.
That was a good time. Hopefully I'll be able to go on another cruise, probably for the honeymoon. Hopefully. We'll see. I mean, he's not wrong.
He isn't.
No, because, like, seriously, like, you know, I love those memes of, like, corporate wants you to tell between the difference between the two images. And it's an image of the trading stock and the Las Vegas gambling.
The stock market's just gambling for rich people.
That's what it is. It's high-stakes gambling for rich people with, you know, these arbitrary licenses. Boy, this certainly looks like one of my old apartments. I'll tell you what. Bitch, shut up. Going to Harvard don't mean you're smart. Just means you're rich. Most likely an asshole.
It can mean you're smart. I mean, there are people who do get full rides based strictly on performance.
Yeah.
But it does not necessarily mean that.
Yeah, still, like 9 times out of 10, it's because you're rich. Especially these days, let's be honest. Boy, when these were here when I moved in. Boy, if that don't tell you what kind of neighborhood this is. Am I right?
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, though, she's totally right, because poverty will humble you in ways you can scarcely imagine. Yeah, man, this is real. This is real life.
So
all of it equally beautiful.
Jamie Lee Curtis said, this movie is where she started to feel exploited in Hollywood. She did all these horror movies, but it was when she turned to doing something else, comedy, that they asked her to take her top off.
Yep. Although she only did it for this and like maybe one other. Did she do it in Fish Called Wanda? I don't think she did. I think at that point she was like, no.
I don't honestly remember.
It's been a while since I've seen Fish Called Wanda. I should watch that again because, man, that movie's funny. And I bet if I rewatch it again, it's like, wow, this is even funnier than I remembered.
Oh,
who knows?
I mean, those movies are excellent.
Yeah. Kevin fucking Kline, man. Genius. Yeah, man, sex workers don't fuck around. I mean, they do, but they don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Oh, daddy. Put him in his place. No, still though, like that kind of like no nonsense attitude on the streets, man. Like I feel that for real. Money's money, fool. This is actually genius logic that only a dude from down low can tell you. He's like, I'm not going to lose this bet, Randolph. He's so stingy he's losing his bet. All over a fucking dollar. Oh, this shit here, man. I like that.
Yeah.
The portrait of Washington in the background.
Yeah.
With the Legend of the Cherry Tree. That's actually really clever. Folks, if you don't know, if there are those of you listening and you don't know, there's a legend that George Washington found an axe just laying out in the middle of nowhere and used it to chop down his father's prized cherry tree. When his father found out, he asked, and George stepped forward honestly and said, "It was mine."
So that was he kept having problems with that, and they just kept it in because it was so funny.
I like it.
Yeah, it's great.
Happy accident, man.
Yep, happy little accidents.
But George answered honestly, said, "I cut it down," and his father was not mad because he prized honesty over his cherry tree.
Exactly.
So the fact that they have that George Washington portrait in the background when he thinks about taking the money himself but decides to give it back. Nice. That is an excellent little touch.
It really is.
Yeah, it's little touches like that make, mediocre movies to great movies. No, I definitely
What is
hate
with rich dumbasses and barbershop quartets?
And in bad sweaters.
Right?
And really shitty haircuts, too. Also, they're the weird shorts, too. Like, what the... Just, ew. Everything about you is like... it's like all the... It's literally all the bad vibes I get from Bill Gates and his sweaters.
Oh, gosh. You're so right.
Like, that might actually be, like, what Bill Gates modeled his entire look of the 90s from. Oh my god, the suit is so bad. I love it. That fucking hell if they ain't your friends, man. No.
Oof.
Yeah. Real friends see through you thick and thin, even during the bad low times, where you're at your lowest and ugliest. When, like, the friend that holds your hand when you are puking your guts out, naked as the day you were born, and just like, we're gonna get through this, just let it all out. We're gonna get. Yeah. Those are the ones that are worth sticking by. But this fucking shit. Oh, hey, look, it's Bo Diddley.
Yep.
Yeah, boy. He's looking at him. He's like, "Yeah, for whatever. It's called $50." Oh. Yeah.
Oof.
Ain't we all been there though, at one point or another? Just like,
in some form, yes.
Just like, it's. Although I like this. He was like, "Hey, how much for the gun?"
That look.
He's like, "Oh hell no." Still though, it's for real. It's just like we've all been there. It's to the point where we're trying to get something, just to sell something to make ends meet. And the best we can do is like, a $20 pity.
This moment, I love it.
The rain is so comically over the top.
Right?
It's fucking hilarious.
Ugh.
Man, that's so not funny. That is the shittiest joke ever.
It really is.
I'm sorry. Just like, honestly, there's only one person who did the sad face in the rain better, and that was probably David Tennant.
So this right here is a reference to an 80s investment commercial.
Say what?
There was an 80s investment commercial. I forget the company, but it was like, when this company talks, people listen. So everyone's shutting up and going to listen. Like, this is literally referencing a popular commercial by an investment firm at the time.
Wow, that is a deep cut, because honestly, like, I don't know if anyone, born after 1985 ever remembers that.
Yeah, who would?
Exactly.
But, like, maybe that's one of the reasons, like, it works on its own, which is why it's fun, but there's also this cultural throwback.
Yeah, maybe maybe that's why even older folks really, really fucking love this movie too. Say what? That's what you get for standing out in the rain, man. Oh, yes, the client.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, Jamie Lee Curtis is slick. I'm sorry, but that is probably one of the most realistic depictions of sex workers. Am I right? Like, just because of all the clientele that they have to, put out, like, refuse because something in life just happens to get in the way.
Yeah. When life screws you over, it sucks.
Oh, yeah. And of course, I don't know but you, but if there's fewer people in walks of life than sex workers than probably have more empathy for people than you might think.
I have never met, like, a sex worker who is an asshole.
Yeah. They are, like, wonderful, wonderful, empathetic human beings. And they should all have our respect.
Indeed.
Because seriously, like, for real, there is no reason Jamie Lee Curtis should be looking out after this guy.
No.
But she does because, honestly, even I, who, like, hated his character at the beginning of the movie, when he's down on the floor and he looks up with you with those sad puppy dog eyes, God damn it, I just want to be like, oh, protect, baby. That is so sweet.
Yeah, she is, like, too good for
him.
Everyone in this movie.
Right, for everyone in the movie. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis is, like, the best character in the movie. Dun dun dun! And this is where we get, I think, our inspiration for Billy Bob Thornton, right?
I mean, it could be. It's definitely a bad Santa.
It kind of is. I mean, just look at him. Actually, I just realized, where did he get the costume?
Where did he get the drugs? Like, where did the money come from for this setup?
Did he, like... Is there a missing scene, actually? Because you're right. Where did he get the drugs? And where did he get the... You know what? I think the real answer is the apartment neighborhood that he's been staying in.
I mean, probably, but...
Like, that... So, the fact that he was able to, boost those drugs and that Santa costume in the same evening, in that area, kind of adds up. Oh, my God. No, he's definitely the inspiration for
but I mean,
Billy
look at
Bob
how
here.
dirty that Santa costume is. There
I know,
are
right?
so many questions. He takes the whole salmon! The whole salmon!
Honestly, to be honest, like, in all fairness, I can kind of see why it makes the scene kind of funnier, the fact that no one asks questions.
The one guy with the...
Yeah, except for the one guy. But for the most part, yeah, man, it's actually kind of funnier, the fact that no one asks any questions or turns their head for the filthy Santa Claus that is deliberately taking whole salmons from the spread that they put out. I'm not inconspicuous at all.
Oof.
His character's the worst.
It really is, but he does it so well.
And
it's so fun.
Kind of, yeah, although it's kind of amazing considering what a truly delightful and gentleman that Don Ameche was.
Oh, yes.
It's actually kind of amazing he's able to play such a grotesque, awful, disgustingly racist human being. It really is kind of a testament to the acting, you know? Because from what I'm told, Don Ameche is like one of the most decent and wonderful human beings in Hollywood at the time.
Yeah.
Seriously, where the hell did he get all of? I mean,
right.
I honestly kind of want to see like an extended scene where you see him boosting this shit.
Right.
It had to have been just as funny. Well, actually, that's the thing. It's like, is it funnier that we don't see it, or would it be funnier to have had an extra scene for that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I honestly really don't know, but it looking at this now with these eyes, it's definitely a gap.
Yeah. I do like that, though. He pulls out the ham and then the gun. He's like, yep. Security hit. Oh, Merry Christmas. Hangs up. He kind of has. I mean, look at him. Yeah, this is definitely an inspiration for Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Happy New Year! Oh, man, this is dark.
It really is.
Because seriously, like, there's no way he would have been able to walk out of there at all. Not in today's world.
No, not in today's world.
Oh, shit. Valentine took the bait.
But he kept the joint.
Ooh, that is sad.
Is that Mad Dog?
I'm not sure. Although, no. Also, it's really weird for me to say, but seeing what Dan Aykroyd now, I question whether or not that was real booze. Smoking in the boys' room. Although I love how self-conscious he is. He's like, dude, come on. People do cocaine in here regularly. Oh man, this shit though.
Yep. Oof.
Oh!
It was lit.
Oh, God. $1. God. As we spell out our evil plan for our protagonist. Good fuckity hell. Over $1. For real. Now this shit. Excuse? Oh, burn, you assholes!
Yeah.
Burn!
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. How is he still in the building at that point?
I
you
know, right? Oh, the lighting. The lighting on him and just... Oh, my God, though.
I am still looking at that bot. Ah, damn it. I really wanted to know if that was Mad Dog.
It might have been either that or it might have been like a smaller Jack Daniels. Who knows? But either way, it's not good for him, man. Only in New York, huh? Oh, God. You know, this makes me, you know, the way that Dan Aykroyd's moving in that Santa costume just makes me think of a really funny Christmas Eve story that my buddy Dan had experienced.
Uh-huh.
He had to go out and get cottage cheese on Christmas Eve at a gas station past 6 o'clock.
Oh, gosh.
So, like, it's impossible to find. There's, like, nothing open.
Yeah.
And this poor gas attendant had to be stuck there at New Year's Eve, and oh my God, the fucking salmon.
Oh.
Oh.
With the hair, though, it's just like,
and it's soaked
so
in
uncomfortable.
booze and soaked in booze and God help whatever else that costume's been through. Ugh.
Skin still on it, like.
Yeah,
Ugh,
but
no.
but he encountered a very drunken. In addition to finding the one gas station that was open, and this poor like surly attendant who was stuck there, he had to also deal with a very, very drunken Santa, and that Santa was also dragged away by the police in the end.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't possibly get any worse from here. Right on cue.
Hey, it'll probably help the smell.
You know, honestly, I would totally be here right there and then, because I'm sure in that one moment, I'm sure I would have been as peacefully and effortlessly suicidal in that moment, too. Of course, the gun goes off. And he's like, I hate everything. Oh, and plus, remember, this is like, what, Christmas Eve? So,
yeah,
in the East Coast, so that rain has got to, like, that's got to cut like a knife, man. I don't think he minds. He wants to come out. Holy shit, it's him. Can't. Busy dying. Busy dying. Oh, the pills. I'm almost kind of amazed he didn't just do the thing from Groundhog Day where he just takes the toaster.
Yeah, I love this too though. For God's sake, no excitement, and then what we're about to cut to, it's so great.
No excitement. Oh boy. Oh, I had the most horrendous nightmare. Excuse? Yeah. Although when he kind of cracks when he says like the amount. You know, as good as that is, I just wish that they held on that reaction shot of him just for an uncomfortable amount of time. Because I think it was something that, Martin Scorsese was famous for doing, is holding on these shots for just a little bit too long and then releasing them with a cut.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they did that, but oh my God!
He comes in with more guns.
Oh, I do like that that remark with Eddie Murphy's like he's like that's called assault with deadly weapon, man. Then you get 10 years for that shit. And it kind of reminds me of a joke. I think it was Richard Pryor's joke, where it's like, yeah, man, you talk to any black man on the street, they will have a law degree for you because they know what charges are. And unfortunately, given what it is. Yep. I believe him. The fucking bandolier full
right?
Of shells.
I love that delivery. It's those little moments. It's just like, yes.
Fucking hell, man. You know, it's funny. I just realized that extra really didn't have any reason to be there other than just that one mean bit. But I'm kind of glad they kept it in there. Oh, this practice is so illegal.
Oh, yes. Actually, they made a law later specifically about cornering the market the way that's done in this movie, and people even nickname it the Eddie Murphy Law.
Yeah, which I think is fucking hilarious. Like, you really... unfortunately, like, the Wall Street people are so fucking bad. We gotta have, like, laws named after them from fucking movies, man. That's nuts.
Right?
Also, I love how they don't... I mean, I know it's a New Year's party, but... And I know it's the 80s, but what the fuck kind of New Year's party is this?
And you got Belushi's brother.
Oh, yeah, Jim Belushi.
Uh-huh.
Is this a Halloween party or a New Year's party?
It's New Year's, I believe.
I know it is, but seriously, what the fuck kind of New Year's party is this? And why is it taking place on a public transport? The fucking gay gorilla. I feel like that was a bit that they redid in Inside Out, which ironically Frank Oz was one of the voices. This is the part where it's just like, oh, this did not age well.
Well, like, what they do doesn't age well, but the performance itself is still really funny.
Yeah. Although, in all fairness, though, if you ever watched Eddie Murphy's stand-up at the time, you're like, yeah, this aged just about as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it definitely aged about as well as his stand-up from the 80s.
Oof.
Same with some of the stuff from Coming to America. Again, another really funny comedy, and it's a really wonderful, kind of Prince and the Pauper kind of setup. But yeah. Oh hey, it's what's his name from Airplane?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh God, what was his? Oh shit, what is his name?
I don't know. He's a really goofy guy that we all love.
Oh, and yeah, the one who died way too early.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, Han, I'm gonna Google it because it's gonna bother me so badly. Wow, the stereotypes are horrible. All the stereotypes in actually all the stereotypes are kind of awful in this scene. This is like textbook of what not to do at Halloween.
Yeah. It's all just like super stereotyped. It's like ooh.
It hurts. Except weirdly Jim Belushi. He's the one guy at the party where you're like, no, let's have a guy like that at the party. Just a random dude at the oh God.
Oh yeah.
Just a random dude at a party in a gorilla suit, just going ape shit.
Yep. So they actually had to do this because she couldn't do an Austrian accent. That's why they had this switch. She just couldn't pull this accent.
Oh shit! That's one hell of a switcheroo.
Yep.
Okay, that's just rude. For real.
I would never want to be within range of where a gorilla could touch me.
Right? That's just... no. Because we all remember Hombre. That was...
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Damn, man, we aren't we on the same team?
Every time they cut to the car, it's locomotion played. Every time.
Oh, that's actually really funny. I didn't notice that. Seriously, though, what kind of New Year party is this? Also,
the best. The best.
The best worst, because, seriously, this is like... Kill it with fire! Kill it with fire! Oh, no! No! Oh, God. That is so bad. Look. Blackface only worked one time. One time, and it was in Tropic Thunder. This is not how you do... No! Kill it! Oh, boy.
Oh.
I'm actually really curious, because I know Eddie Murphy had that warped sense of humor back in the 80s. Was this his idea?
I have no clue.
I'm really hoping that was his idea, because that only makes it slightly better. Not by much at all, but slightly better. Oh, dear God. Oh, it hurts. It hurts, Sean. This is the one time in the movie where I'm like, oh, nope. Oh, shit. Hey, Happy New Year. Later. Bye.
How did he... Oh, yeah, duh. He remembers her from before. I was like, how did he know she was a prostitute?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the locomotion is still going on.
Seriously, folks, though, this is exactly what you don't want to dress up as Halloween. It is a textbook rendition. Boy, you really gotta love that Coleman still has his whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well. Hey man, King Kong, you all right? Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, right?
Those little... I mean,
the exchange,
staging,
man.
yeah, that staging is just so well done.
There's got to be so much confetti in those drinks. Oh my. He was raped by a gorilla.
That's a bad day.
In all fairness, he had it coming.
I mean, he kind of did.
Yeah. Nice. I love the lighting.
Yep.
Again, this is something that definitely could have been done in the 1930s. For real. Because there's a definite big element of film noir in this scene.
Yeah. But I love the fact that they're unwittingly giving them their seed money to screw them.
Yep. I love it. Yeah. You filthy animal.
But notice that they have their driver with them. It's like they have a witness to crimes. That's a bad idea.
No shit. Although that really comes because that's an idea that I had earlier while we were watching this. Like especially when, the driver's actually looking back whether or not Valentine's actually going to go through with it. I'm like, it makes me really wonder. All the personal drivers of like Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Bezos. Like I'm really curious. Like. The servants and the drivers, the personal drivers and things like that, I want to know the kind of crazy-ass shit they must have seen.
Yeah, but they're probably paid really well to keep their mouths shut.
Oh, I imagine they are, but it's not so much the money that they're paid for their silence. It's just the shit that they've seen and heard.
But by the way, I love the fact that with this upcoming scene where they're on the stock floor was filmed at the World Trade Center, and they tried to film on a weekday, and it was so disruptive they had to stop trading, costing billions of dollars, so they had to go back and film it on a weekend.
And speaking of this whole this by far is my favorite sequence of the whole movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Sequence. But you know what? You know what was actually really satisfying to watch this? Because I watched this again earlier this year, but I watched it in the wake of the GameStop epidemic.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said. Get your diamond hands ready, boys.
Do you know how satisfying watching this scene the morning of with my orange juice, watching this scene and also having a tab open watching the GameStop stock thing go on? That was amazing. Oh, man. What a sight, am I right?
Yeah.
It's just so strange to think that, a lot of these environments, especially in these older films that were shot on location and whatnot, just flat out don't exist.
I mean,
it's so strange.
I went there when I was a kid. I mean, I saw it,
Yeah, it's just so strange to think that, a lot of these movies are preservations of those spaces and those times.
They are.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Richard Hunt. Right here. He was one of the puppeteers on the Muppets. And I think it's because Frank Oz got a role in here. He got a bit part here, too. They know something. Yes, sir.
I love this
oh my God! Right? If this doesn't exactly what Wall Street was like, popping pills, the booze, probably some cocaine.
But they have massive medical problems, meaning they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. But they're like, I'm doing this.
Well, I mean, they've got the money for it anyway. And then, of course, the bell rings and they immediately go out without washing their hands, mind you. Social contract, asshole.
Filthy animals.
They are. They're stockbrokers. They're the worst of the worst. And worse, stockbrokers of the 80s. That's when it was, because, I actually saw a documentary about, what it was like in the pits. And this time in the 80s was the peak. This is where you had to be on cocaine to work in the pits. Now because of all the electronic stuff, from the 90s onward, being in the pits was significantly less crazy. But here, in the 80s, oh my God, was it nuts. Also, you really got to love those old-timey boards, for real.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, those brokers over there did not mess around. They could yell for as long and as hard as any drill sergeant.
Yep.
I imagine a lot of this that we're seeing here was literally just B-roll of the actual, just like a normal day on the floor.
Well, they did use some extras, but also some actual people from the floor.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a combination.
I believe that. And I'm pretty sure if you look closely enough, you can tell who's extras and who are the actual traders.
In some cases, I'm sure there's a little bit of wiggle room, but yeah.
Also, the obscene amount of paper and trade slips that are litter the floor every day.
Yep.
Well, you really gotta love back in the 80s when, this was considered kind of funny and whimsical, and now we are reaching below bedrock of late-stage capitalism. I also really love how this movie is dated, where with the screens. You can see the flickers. They didn't have filters for those yet.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yep.
God. Not yet. Nope. I'm telling you, man. Watching this sequence with a breakfast sandwich, a tall glass of orange juice, and the GameStop stocks, like, that was the most amazing thing. I love that reaction shot. It looks like just a sea of fish ready to, just ready to a sea of piranhas where a drop of blood has been dropped. I don't think we're ever going to get a trade floor sequence quite like this ever again.
Oh, no.
Especially, since we're long past the peak of the trading pits of the 80s.
Well, because now computers can trade stuff faster than anyone ever could and do calculations and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of this is now... Oh, no. A lot of the trading on this kind of stuff is done beyond the human ability.
Actually, I just realized, just the way you said that, if David Fincher can make, Mark Zuckerberg's setting up a website in the middle of the night look as interesting as it did, I bet he could make... I bet he could make a really good, a Wall Street-esque movie now.
Yeah.
He could make that... David Fincher could make that look interesting.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, seriously. Whew. I wish that this kind of stuff was an exaggeration. Where it's like you've got 4 phones and 2 in each hand. And I also love the contrast and how they make everything go absolutely dead quiet. And with, once again, a crusty old man moving at his own pace, taking his time to open the envelope, put on his glasses and adjust them, while everyone is just waiting in utter silence.
It's great anticipation, Bill.
It's it is, because it's kind of like, just waiting for the first drop of blood to be thrown into a pit of sharks. Oh! And he is always smart to have those big reaction shots in the super wide, so you can really feel the extras go nuts. My God, seriously. Oh my God. I can't imagine this, seriously. Honestly, it would just be interesting just to go into a time machine and just walk out onto the pits during times like this. You probably would walk away with a couple of cracked ribs and bruised eyes. Because, man, cocaine was a hell of a drug.
Yup.
Jesus. Get back in there and sell! 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 And for all its problems and for all the the horrible things that happen in here, the schadenfreude is so good here.
Yep.
5. And... Yeah! Oh my God, the looks on their faces. It's so worth the trip. Oh, really? Okay. I won. The shit-eating grin. The shit-eating grin on Dan Aykroyd's face. Wah, wah. Oh, and this is probably my favorite moment from Don. Like this moment is just so powerful and such a gut hit. It's like, wow, this is great. I love that.
They only had one shot, one take to do that because Don Amici was so religious he had a problem cursing and didn't even want to do it. So they had one take and one take only because he wouldn't do it twice.
I imagine it's anytime he also had to use the N-word too.
I'm guessing, but they only specifically mentioned this scene.
Still, I imagine that's kind of what would have been the case because, man, although for the take that he got, man, that's good because I always.
Gosh, that sequence is amazing.
I still kind of roll back, just like fuck him, like oh Jesus.
So, fun fact, this is was the last on the filming schedule too. So nicely after all the winter shots, they did end in the tropics.
Oh, well, that must have been a real nice rap day.
Yeah.
Oh God, can you imagine the rap party for this? Especially if they got to rent that big ass yacht too. Like, oh my God, I'm seriously like now envious of what the rap party must have been like now. even the butler gets a butler.
That ship is still in use today, by the way.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, and ain't that sweet? They got together. Honestly, I have a feeling like they became much more tolerant of not just one another, but of everyone at that point from that point onward. Or who knows? Maybe they turned out to be just as snooty assholes as you might expect rich people to be. Who knows?
I like that they did outtakes for a lot of these.
Oh yeah,
cast shots at the end.
Wonderful.
Oh, it's such a classic. It's such a classic.
I just look. It's really problematic in some areas, but the good stuff so outweighs it, and I still love watching this. A lot. And hell, like seriously, there are days where I will literally just pop open like like the opening scenes with where with Frank Oz and things like that. Or the trading sequence. I'll just pop on that scene in the morning just to like wake myself up and just be like, yeah, I'm ready to start my day now to tear down the establishment.
Yeah, you get a little gotta have them comfort moments and kind of help get you on with it sometimes. I feel ya.
Sure. But yeah, I think this is a really wonderful way to end the 2021 like as a little New Year's bit. Because, again, I always saw this more of as a New Year's movie than a Christmas movie, but I still love watching it around both times. Like, after I've gotten back from my Christmas vacation and I'm in that week between that and New Year's Eve, when every once in a while we'll have a party or go to a party. Yeah, I'd love popping this one in around that time, man. And I also love popping it in just about any other day at time of the week. Like I said, case in point, GameStop.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the last comedies where the whole premise is like the rich assholes get their comeuppance, and I really wish this was more of a focus American comedy these days.
But no kidding.
Maybe it's gonna have a comeback. Who knows?
I'd really like it too, because boy, like we've been saying, this is actually a really prime time to do, a quirky Prince and the Pauper kind of tale.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they kind of tried to do that with the sequel to Coming to America. Coming to, as in number 2 America.
I have not peeped that one yet. So.
I haven't either. I don't know if I have, because I haven't heard great things about it. But I don't know. Like, unfortunately, that's the only way we're gonna get anything quite like that again. Is because is it a sequel or is it of a property that that our audiences already know?
Yeah.
Because Hollywood is just all about those safe bets, man, and it's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see, someone, maybe like a real auteur. Like maybe once Spielberg's done with West Side Story, he can do like a classic Hollywood Prince and the Pauper kind of tale like this.
Yeah,
again.
Who knows? But I mean, I also think though that it's, it's fertile ground right now. So I would hope that maybe a young up and comer can maybe,
Oh, absolutely! More than anything,
put their stamp on stuff. It's like, hey, the time's right for a resurgence of this kind of movie.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
I would love to see, some young, hungry director, come out and be like, I'm on this. Like,
believe me,
I'm the new voice.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's just that, unfortunately, in the film market that we see. Yes, that could get made by a young and upcoming director, but unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult for it to be seen on a wide audience.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, I think back of, Judd Apatow, when he kind of first came on the scene, he really was like the comedic voice of that time period.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that we necessarily have that going on right now, because a lot of the comedy I see going on, there's great stuff out there.
Yes.
Particularly, and comedy has moved, I feel, a lot more towards, television as opposed to theatrical at the moment.
Yeah.
But a lot of the great stuff out there feels like it's still been holding on for a decade or more. It's a lot of the stuff of like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The proliferation of what we do in the shadows.
Yeah.
And all that stuff's good, but like I'm ready for the social commentary comedy to come back. That's both hilarious, but also like an
insightful. Yeah. And you're totally right, because we are totally primed for something like that in the 20s.
And that's what I loved, when like this movie's great. It handles the kind of indictment of greed that was going on in the 80s, but it does it in not a heavy-handed way. And when you look back, as I mentioned, at kind of like Apatow stuff, you have a lot of these movies that are very social commentaries of what was going on in society at the time, but it was definitely a commentary on it without being too heavy-handed, and which is what's necessary to make a really good comedy.
Absolutely.
So I would love to see that kind of craftsmanship and comedy movies come back and somebody to kind of helm that. Honestly, I am more than for that, especially by a young and upcoming director. But it's just that, will audiences want to see it? It's a matter of, will audiences want to see it, which I think they do, because a lot of people like you and I have the same feelings about the class inequality going on. But also, it's also whether or not really, and it really comes down to whether or not the studios want to take a risk at that. Well, but see, in general, they don't. Well, but see, that's where I see the mistake is, because I think the studios do. I think there's too much focus on trying to get big name people, which spikes the budgets up too much. I think you got to have the Peel effect, where you're doing these like $10-15 million horror movies. Do a $10 or $15 million comedy, very low risk, but the potential for returns are very high. Comedies don't need to be expensive. That is very true. It is very true. If this were made today, that could probably cost maybe $20-30 million, but that's mostly going towards the stars. Right, and so like that's my whole point. It's like, if you can keep this on a low budget, like keep it under $20 million. Yeah. I mean, there's there's very good chance for returns there.
You know,
and so I think that's where comedy needs to go, because you don't see a lot of comedy in theaters these days. And there was definitely this shift in the 90s where comedy went more towards the, like, this is geared at teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, you had hits like American Pie, shit like that, and there was kind of this...
And then it kind of evolved into, like, college students and things like that with the Hangover.
It almost followed that generation as they grew, and now it's like, okay, it's time for it to recenter and look at, you know, a different generation. Unfortunately, there's a lot of, in media right now, and lack of understanding on what young people want entertainment wise, which is why so much of youth entertainment is on TikTok and YouTube and Twitch and all that kind of stuff is where they go. So you need, that's why I'm saying I kind of want a young person. You kind of need that young voice, like an up and coming, you know, director, auteur, to be like, I've got this. I can speak for this generation. I get
a young voice who understands the sensibilities of those old Golden Age Hollywood films that this kind of story is based in. Because if you have that bridge, then you'd have a gold here. So for anyone out there who's listening, go make that for real.
Yeah. Well, and you don't even necessarily need the old Hollywood mentality. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but like, just have a mentality of this. Have seen this. Have seen these old kind of 80s comedies. It's a great basis to jump on.
Absolutely. So go out and see it, and hopefully, and if you do wind up making it, give us a shout out so we can get some more views. Like and subscribe. So yeah, I think that's a good place to cap it off anywhere than here. Hope you guys all have a wonderful new year, and wish you all the best in 2022. I've been Tim.
I've been Sean.
And you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. Peace.